What's up, everybody? This is Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and you are watching Ranger Wrap-Up. Uysa! What's up, everybody? This is Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and you are watching Ranger Wrap-Up. Uysa!
Oh, look at you two. Yeah, I can see myself as well. It's weird looking. Yeah. Let me have a look. So, not until next year now. Or if you're looking at Netflix, I think it's 15th of September, I think.
October. I mean, we are definitely in October, Erlen.
We are in October? Oh, it is October too. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can only hear Erlen except Joe and Jezzer. Can't hear you guys. Give it a second. I'm telling you all the secrets right now. So what's going to happen is they're going to bring back Donna. And I'm talking about Titans, but I'm just making it seem like...
I heard that the Season 3 of Titans wasn't so good.
It's still going on. I don't like Red Hood. Like, honestly, I was telling Caitlin, the only good Red Hood that they've had is Jensen Ackles.
Do you think that this is an indication to what we can be seeing for the Power Rangers writing? I mean, Brian
and Whistle, yeah. It feels that. I mean, that's a good segue into the show. It feels like he has ADD. You know,
like you mean the writing on Titans. By the way, for all of you that didn't hear us, we are back live here on the Ranger Wrap-Up. We apologize for the audio snafu.
Yeah.
But we are working with all new equipment. We're in a new place. We are emerging outside of this COVID. Erlen is on the call with us here today, on the show with us here today. I should say call, but it's on the show with us. From jolly old England. What part of England are you from, Erlen? So everyone can show up at your doorstep.
I'm from the northwest.
That's all he's
I can imagine how everyone just turns up, and I'm just like, "Hi guys, come on in for a cup of tea. I've got enough mugs for everyone."
You know,
that's right.
You know, Erlen's making a ton of friends on Twitter, so I'm sure there's a bunch of people that want to head over to his doorstep and have a little conversation.
Yep. But for all of you live viewers that are in there watching us from the comfort of your living room, wherever you're streaming us from today on this beautiful Saturday here in Los Angeles, California, we want to thank you for joining us and sticking with us. I know we haven't been around the last couple of months. We are going to make that more of a priority. Also, we have some big announcements coming up with some of the content, Power Ranger content that we have going on here. So very soon, Retro Ranger Wrap-Up, Henshin Hangout is making its return. Retro Henshin Hangout can all be found on our Facebook page that has 35,000 subscribers, Power Rangers Cosmic Protector News. Go check that out. That's where all that stuff's going to be airing in the next coming weeks. We will condition you guys to go over there, but we are going to have some really cool Power Ranger stuff coming up, including interviews with the current Dino Fury cast members.
Yes.
Also, some of your favorite past Rangers are going to be coming back to the Ranger Wrap-Up, and this show's going to change itself a little bit. We're going to be talking toy news today. We're going to also be talking about the future of Power Rangers and these latest Dino Fury episode reviews. But before we get into that, I was asking Jezzer. He was watching Titans Season 3. I don't know how many of you guys in the chat are watching Titans, but I was asking him if that was a good indicator for what we can get for the vibe of what this future Power Rangers movie is going to be.
I think one plus that I can see with him being part of it is his enthusiasm to bring in as many characters as that are on the DC spectrum of characters. So that'd be really cool. I'm sure that he'll be tapping into a lot of our nostalgia and bringing in like certain monsters or certain characters that we love. But I think that and to be fair, I don't know if which specific episodes he's written or which storylines he's written. But I think one of the failures with Titans that I could see happening with Power Rangers is character development. To this day, they have Beast Boy, who's one of the coolest characters within the Titans universe, and he's only changed into one animal.
Is that a tiger?
Yeah.
I think that's in season 1, right?
These 3 seasons, only a tiger. With a huge amount of animals that he could change into, they've only done a tiger. I mean, I remember a show back in the early 2000s, Animorphs, where they were changing into different animals. Of course, it looked really, shitty, but if they have that capability in 2000, how come we can't do that now?
Well, budgetary restraints aside, how do you feel about the story and his writing?
It's all over the place. It's really all over the place.
But he is a good writer. I mean, I do want to say that Brian Hill is a great writer.
He is a good writer. I just feel like if he has a good amount of people around him, like keeping focus, if he has a good team, like informing him of, because I'm pretty sure he's catching up now, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have the whole pantheon of Power Ranger knowledge, in his little notebook, but. If he has a good team, I think that maybe there's some potential, because especially for Power Ranger fans, we love nostalgia, I think he will deliver on that end.
Now, Heirloom, let's actually, before we go to Heirloom, I want to give a special shout out to the chat. All of you guys that are live in there right now, keeping the show alive. Thank you, Jezzer. Who do we have in there with us?
Donnie Pearson. We got Thomas Franco. Moriba Ford. That's a new name.
No, that's one of our key writers here at the Illuminerdi.
Oh, really? Sorry. I apologize.
Bryce West.
I apologize. Marcelino Vasquez. Is that a writer? No. There's a lot of writers. The team is growing constantly. Darth Baca. That sounds familiar. Robert Amaya, always nice seeing you. Thomas DeCoste, always nice seeing you. We got a lot of the regulars, the diehard Illuminerdi fans. I am happy to see Mikey Nerd Talk. We also got our team members Blackwing, and I also saw Bryce in there. Thomas Franco's in there, and Heirloom. That's a new name. Yep. I haven't heard of Heirloom before.
he's a new boy. He's new. He's like the coolest kid on the block.
Somewhere in northern England, I think. I heard that he lives at. So I'm a fan of his.
It looks like the hashtag Release the Black Book is coming back.
Boy, you know what? It's so funny. Before I left today, I was telling Jezzer I broke my glasses on the way down here when I was getting sushi earlier. No joke. I was gonna legitimately bring the book with me and just see what happens.
Tease something a little.
But you know what? We can do that later on in this show. There's a lot to discuss. I know that a lot of you fans out there that are watching this have your keen eye directly spotlighting the Power Rangers universe and what's going to happen next. And I think it's a very valid question, and we will touch upon that here on this show. Possibilities of where things are going, and even things that I've been hearing about the franchise. But before we do that, I wanted to ask Heirloom a couple questions, because we were just talking about the Power Ranger cinematic movie that's supposed to be coming out. Heirloom, are you familiar with the leak or any of these script leaks that were floating around Twitter earlier this week?
I did not know that there was any going around Twitter.
Ooh.
So earlier this week, there was on Twitter going around, there was a couple leaks from an early draft of the script. Now, ironically, I don't want to say ironically, but honestly, the leaks coincide with a lot of the stuff that we had announced a year ago, right around the time we announced the movie. It talks about a female Red Ranger not having a core team of 5. It was going to be in flux. Them traveling back the 90s, Zed being the villain, using different seasons, motifs, and stuff like that. All of that was there on the tweet. Now, here's the question. Here's the real nitty-gritty part of the question.
The nitty-gritty.
Because if you take a step back and you look at the Power Ranger franchise, I think that it obviously has staying power because it's been around for almost 30 years now. But here's the real question. Is there a way that is going to service the fans of the franchise and gain new fans cinematically? Can Power Rangers do that and do it at a level of like a DC or a Marvel or any of these higher level studios? Can it be done?
With a lot of hard work, I reckon it could be. A lot of work into it to try and get it back into the public eye properly. But whoever's got that task has got a mammoth of a one to go with that one, I reckon. Yeah. But I think it could be done.
Now, for all of you guys in the chat, the 2017 movie, I know it's a very divisive movie for a lot of fans. Either you loved it or you hated it. I do think if they would have kept going in that direction, we would still see Power Rangers in the spotlight a little bit more, mainly because a lot of those actors have went on to do great things. By the way, there's a great Netflix movie I saw. I think it's called The Harder They Fall. R.J. Kyler's in it, and he's fucking brilliant. So it's Idris Elba. R.J. Kyler's a big role in it. I think Regina King's in it.
Oh, my God.
It
came out already?
Stanfield. It's coming out soon, but it's
was it the one with Viola Davis also in it or no?
Well, it's a Western.
Oh, yes. Yes, I saw the trailer for that.
It is phenomenal. It is so good. And R.J. Kyler steals every scene. It makes me wish that they would have went in that direction with the 2017 movie. But with that being said, I have to ask you guys, the 2017 movie wasn't bad for me at all. But as a Power Ranger fan, what absolutely needs to happen in this movie to capture the vintage fans and new fans? What needs to happen?
Before I answer that question, we do got a super chat from Larry Newbill, friend of the show, part of the show. Larry says, Illuminerdi fam for life. For sure, nice. Buddy. For sure. Going back to your question about what they need to entice new fans and old fans. I mean, what's the direction that Marvel has done is probably the staple for as what the old IPs need to do, right?
Well, here's the thing with Hasbro, I think very specifically, is I think that they had a great boom with their Transformers franchise in the early 2000s, mainly because it was a spectacle. The CG was on point, especially at that point, because you got to think about it.
I think it was groundbreaking for that time. Yeah,
groundbreaking. But the thing is, every other studio caught up.
Yeah.
And I think that once that happened, there's a shift that happened. See, Hasbro's not a mythology company. They're a toy company. Marvel, DC, they have the lineage behind them that creates American mythology.
Yeah.
Hasbro hasn't done that yet.
Studio-wise, with Cobra,
oh man,
Snake Eyes.
Snake
right?
Eyes was a huge setback.
So Snake Eyes was under which studio?
Paramount. Same studio that has Power Rangers.
Under Paramount.
Yeah.
And I think as we saw with Shang-Chi, I think that's the direction that they kind of wanted to go with, in that tone.
Yeah.
And
they just didn't capture it.
I think they just didn't capture it. And I think that setback is kind of like a sucker shot or like a sucker punch to Hasbro as far as the direction they wanted to go with Power Rangers. So I feel like they thought that Snake Eyes was going to be a big hit. They thought it was going to be a big hit. They thought that it was going to revitalize the franchise, and they thought that it was going to be their starting point to revitalize that story, and then from their success, they would be able to do the same thing that they did with Power Rangers. I'm
guessing Snake Eyes wasn't that great then?
No,
I haven't even seen it yet. Yeah.
I mean, look, I think the movie's decent. I mean, there's definitely flaws, but regardless of how good or how bad a movie is, the performance at the box office is what matters. And I know that we were in this pandemic, and it was the start of people going back to theaters. Jungle Cruise did all right, and then it was like Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes had Fast and Furious was after that. Did pretty good. Mm-hmm. Was it Fast 9? F9?
F9, yeah.
F9. And then Snake Eyes came out, and it bombed. I think it only made like it lost like 60% of its budget. It was crazy how much it bombed. And I think that was a huge setback. And I know I was talking to some people that are over at Paramount, and yeah, like that was their whole goal, is getting this off the ground first. So I think it inherently sets everything else back. But chat, I know I just yelled real loud and we have mics here. Chat, I was curious, what are they saying about this 27 or about this new movie?
They're saying, I'm talking about themes like animals. So I think they're talking about future Super Sentai series, because that's been going on in the chat right before the show start. What they wanted to adapt next. We'll get into that later. We'll definitely get into that later. But the question that Joe asks is, what do you think would be the best possible attack to bring in new and old audiences? I mean, early on, when for the hardcore fans, Transformers did take a few bit of criticism because of the aesthetic, the look of the characters.
You mean from hardcore fans? From
hardcore fans. So I think, like, I know, like, Bumblebee got a lot of heat for being a Camaro, not a bug. And, Optimus Prime got a little bit of heat. I think that Power Rangers is going to have to take a little bit of that heat as far as them trying to attract a new audience. I think that yes, appealing to the nostalgic audience is good, but if they want to come in with a big splash, they need to appeal to a new audience. Right. And I think that's just something that they're going to have to do. I think that maybe with with Snake Eyes, did you think that they stayed too close to the G.I. Joe mythos than trying to create something new?
I don't. I actually think they moved away from the G.I. Joe mythos, which hurt it. And I think that there's the second act of the movie which really falls apart to me. And spoiler alert out there, if you're a big G.I. Joe fan or Snake Eyes fan and plan on watching that movie, please hit the mute button. But truth be told, I'm 90% sure if you were interested, you'd have seen it already. But he fights these giant, like, anacondas at some point, or these giant cobras. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how is this grounded in realism?
Were you not thrown off in Shang-Chi by the dragon and the...
I was, but I felt like with Shang-Chi, it was explained that they're going to, like, this mythical, like, land.
Yeah.
In Snake Eyes, it's a giant snake pit. It's like a snake pit, just a snake pit with these giant cobras that are, like, the size of, I don't know, of like, I don't even know what kind of animal, but, like, they're huge. They're like prehistoric giant anaconda cobras. Made zero sense.
Yes. A plus more phenomenal says the movie is being a product by Entertainment One. They moved Power Rangers from Paramount to E1.
So part of that is true. So it's being produced by Entertainment One, but Paramount's the distributor and the studio distributing the film. So, Entertainment One it's a production company, not a distribution company. Mm-hmm. So they wouldn't, essentially, if Entertainment One was making the Power Rangers movie solely, it'd be a straight to on-demand release because they don't have a distributor. They're not a distributor.
Yeah. It's kind of like Nathan Fillion's show, Rookie, where it's produced and, E1 produces it.
Exactly.
But distributed by, ABC, I think, ABC or something like that. Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of those kind of projects. I think that there was one more recently, a film that I just saw with Dylan O'Brien, I think, is in it. Monster Hunter? Is it Monster?
Love and Monsters?
Love and Monsters. That was also an E1 thing.
Yeah. So that's cool. I think that really I feel like they're going back to the drawing board a little bit. I think they're without the success of Snake Eyes, they have to kind of reevaluate their audience and who they're really marketing it to.
Well, that opens us up to this next topic because I actually think we should probably jump into this now while we're talking about it. So let's talk about that. Now, you had just said taking a real reevaluation of the brand and the franchise and seeing where it's at to kind of dictate where it's going to go next. Now, Heirloom is a great one for you because you've been really kind of like breaking news here with Power Rangers in your own right. With the future of the franchise being what it is, I know that there was a lot of Twitter talk recently with Simon Bennett directly with fans. What have people been kind of speculating is coming next? And maybe we could shed some light on that too.
The main thing I've only seen them is they've just been talking about what they want next. Like was it Lupin Ranger versus Pata, and then obviously they've had what was the other one? Q Ranger, and those are the ones they've been talking about the most.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of saying like those are the ones coming next, and then I think some people want Kira Major, some maybe Zenkaija, but Zenkaija it would be a bad season to adapt. But they've not really been kind of saying what they want next. It's just literally what flows, which has been kind of okay, but Simon had some very interesting stuff to say back to them, and that was a very fun thing.
So let's break this down a little bit, because Simon Bennett did respond to some of these fans' requests. I know Lupin Potter Ranger is one of those requests. Now, certain fans and some fans alike, and it's completely fine, obviously, to want your favorite Sentai adapted. But here's what Simon Bennett had to say about adapting Lupin Ranger versus Potter Ranger. Jezzer, why don't you read that for us?
Rangers as cops, problematic. In today's climate, Rangers as robbers, problematic, as Rangers can't be criminals. I mean, Heirloom, you saw the reaction to it. A lot of people were shooting you with a bunch of different, like, oh, they don't have to be criminals, or they can be. What were some of the suggestions that they had for the Lupin Rangers?
To be fair, like most of it was them just saying they could do it, but it would be basically like you could have them fight, or you kind of focus on one team and then just have the others like randomly turn up. It was kind of weird because again, most of it didn't actually say what they wanted it. It was just, you can do this. This is the way you would do it. I would adapt this because, police are fine. It doesn't matter about the police. And I'm just there going, nope, not after what's been going on quite recently around the world.
Yeah,
you can't have that. But they were just basically arguing with Simon, going, yeah, you could do it. You're just lazy.
That's some of the things that were kind of aggravating for me to see, is people just jumping on his back for not, wanting to do it. There's a tweet that someone put up, says, seems like weak sauce, but I'm not surprised. I like Hasbro toys and love Dino Fear, but separating from toy and never breaking standard formula seems like the recipe for losing your older, and then in quotation, money spending fan base. They were like pretty much, they're pretty much saying that like, oh, Simon, you need to get better writers with you. They're pretty much saying, we lost faith in you. We lost faith in you. It's not he's not like the grand architect of where the franchise is going. And for fans to like address, especially in any other franchise, do you see like Kevin Feige replying to fans and in tweets and stuff like that? I think for us that's a privilege for us that we have.
I was talking to a former Power Ranger actor just recently, and we were talking about that almost exactly. That I think there's a big difference between Marvel and Power Rangers, not just on scale and not just in lineage, but also in accessibility. Power Ranger actors, creators are way more accessible to fans than Marvel, DC actors and studio executives. It's a completely different ballgame. One of my bigger complaints about Power Rangers isn't what they're currently doing, it's how they're promoting it. What I mean is, look, and I say this all the time, and I'm sure all of you guys have heard me say this in the past, but with Dimensions in Danger, or even the more recent one that happened on Beast Morphers, what was it called? The Grid Connection?
Grid Connection.
Grid Connection. Both of those episodes in particular, I know that being on the inside, because we broke a lot of those stories, right?
Yeah.
Hasbro and its Spawn at the time didn't really want that stuff out there. And I don't know why, because truth is, I left Power Rangers probably after Lightspeed Rescue, and I didn't come back into it until I randomly discovered Forever Red. And then, ironically, that was the same, that they had just made the announcement that Jason David Franco was returning for Dino Thunder. And I was like, yo, that's so cool. So I ended up watching that, ended up watching SPD, kind of got back into it.
Got you back into the Disney era.
Right, so I feel that when they have former Ranger actors coming back to the show, that should be more celebrated than hidden. And the reason is because, look, I'm pretty sure that most of you guys in this chat have seen every single season. But there are definitely fans within this genre that have fallen off after certain seasons.
I dropped after Time Force.
Right. So if you kind of celebrate some of those past Rangers that you may be familiar with coming back, and it kind of harkens that sense of nostalgia for you, I feel like that's a great gateway to get older fans back into the franchise, but also introducing, if they've grown up and have kids or whatever it may be, introducing a younger audience to it. I think that Power Rangers is coming into this problem. Here's another good example, man. So I woke up and I texted you super early today because I was up. I got up at, I think I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, so like I was
I
like,
know
oh,
that-
someone's texting me.
I also know that the only person that will only text me that early is Jezzer. So it's the only person I feel comfortable texting that early as well. So I told him, hey, I was excited to do the show today. And right after, I think it was 5:30 in the morning. I stayed up for a while, and I looked at my DVR, and the latest episode of Power Rangers was on there. October 2nd, today, was that episode where Pop Pop goes into the haunted house. That aired on Nickelodeon today is new, right? 5:30 in the morning, Pacific time. What fucking kid is up on a Saturday morning at 5:30 in the morning? So my point is that it's so hard to find these shows at this point now. It's best served on something like Netflix or YouTube or whatever streaming service these younger kids use. It is best served there. But I definitely think that they're doing a really bad job of marketing.
Yes, definitely. I
That's
think the Rangers are doing it more than they are.
Hey, on all honesty, credit. You know what? Shout out to those Power Rangers on social media, like really keeping the fans involved.
Especially this season, they are very active.
Yeah, I gotta credit them and that team mainly because like they are trying to go out there and make it happen.
And they're not getting
themselves.
paid.
They're not getting paid. They just know that this show. Look, the show's different. I mean, we're gonna get into this also. Talk about the show a little bit. Talk about some of the differences. This is a groundbreaking season, and I'm happy that we're talking about that and talking about the positives. Because at the end of the day, I know that a lot of older fans that don't like us, they're like, oh, you're always doom and gloom and all this other stuff. No, I don't think so at all. A lot of times I feel like it's us doing damage control for other things that happen.
Are we their unofficial PR team?
We're their unofficial PR team. But I do think what Power Rangers is doing is taking a methodical approach to the future. And I think it needs to do that for a couple of reasons. If you throw something against the wall and it doesn't work, that's a lot of money spent for little to no return. Even with these toys, like honestly, the Power Ranger toy market isn't directed towards 4-year-olds, towards kids. Most of this Lightning Collection stuff is directed for us.
And who's promoting it?
Yeah, exactly.
The fans are promoting it. Twitter's promoting it, not the brand. Literally not the brand.
You know what? And that's a shame, too, because you don't even know how many times I've had to talk to Power Ranger actors and try to get them in touch with people at Hasbro just to have their toys, but then also they can promote selling their toys. You know what I mean?
Hell, yeah.
They almost should have these Power Ranger legacy contracts where these actors are ambassadors for Power Rangers and go around different conventions and kind of like, you know, officially sponsored by Hasbro. Listen, at this point now, you may as well just hire me to help on the PR side and then take over that. But anyway, I took up a lot of that time. I know it was just kind of going on a tangent there. Heirloom, let's talk about it. We had mentioned Lupin Potter Ranger, and I know I spent a lot of time there. But another one that he shot down was Q Ranger, which is a personal favorite of mine, and I'm sure a personal favorite of a lot of you guys in the chat. Jezzer, what did Simon Bennett have to say about Q Ranger?
The same thing that we said, literally the same thing that we said, but for some reason, we got a lot of heat for it because we thought that you know, the fans thought that just be too lazy. But Simon Bennett said, with that many Rangers, it's nearly impossible to tell character stories in any depth across the season. And I totally come on, let's be perfectly honest. I was watching. Because we're here at Josh's studio.
Well, this isn't the Josh's studio. This is like the Illuminerdi like housing center.
Okay.
It's like almost like a frat house here.
So we're at the Animal House right now.
Yeah, we seriously are. By the way, Bryce, if you are moving to LA, you're probably going to end up staying at this house.
Yeah,
Josh,
living at this house.
Josh, Shay, Caitlin are working in the other room.
Yep. But as I was saying, I was watching Time Force.
I think Daniel just got here. I can hear his loud ass out there.
Is he just here?
I think so.
What do you call it? The tone is totally different. Literally, I was watching Time Force. When you guys watch Retro Ranger after this, the tone is so different from what's now. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that the you could tell that the demographic that they're trying to appeal to is different. And I think that with the tone that they have right now, it makes no sense to try to tackle a season like Q Ranger. No sense, at all. And I know Heirloom, you've seen that people are trying to rationalize how to make it and stuff. But one of the major things maybe that I see that maybe you see too is that they're trying too much to base it off of the Sentai counterpart, and I think that we've seen time and time again with the Sentai adaptations that they try to steer clear. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing of the adaptation that the Sentai does, right? So like it's going to be hard for them to do that.
Look, Erlen, why don't you chime in about your Q Ranger? What do you think about this whole scenario?
It would work better in an animated series format because you have more time to work with the characters. Because a lot of people compared it and went, "Oh look, you can do it with Dino Charge," and it's like, but does anyone remember like half the Rangers disappeared for long periods of time and only would come back very briefly? And be like, where's Prince Philip? Well, he's off doing some important missions at Xandar. When's he going to be back? 6 months' time. Oh, wait, he's just turned up and then disappeared. So you'd have the same sort of thing where it's Q Ranger. Would they be like, oh, where's like green, red, and blue? Oh, they've gone on a space mission. They'll be back in like 3 weeks' time. And then it'll be like focusing on something else. And because also Saban's turn, or his ruling is you can't have a continuation of episodes. So you just literally move away from it, where it'd be this Ranger is doing this week, and then it's not continuing. And that's what I think a lot of people are forgetting. But they're all going like, oh, it worked in Dino Charge. It's like, it didn't though. Dino Charge was okay at times, but it wasn't the best season. And it massively messed up tons of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I am actually going to have to disagree with this Q Ranger thing. I actually think...
You think that they can pop...
Look, we're talking over 2 seasons, and we're talking over 40 episodes. If you're going to tell me that you can't do storylines for 12 characters in 40 episodes, that's a bigger issue. Because, look, if you look at something like Star Trek Discovery, right, or even any kind of Star Trek series, any kind of ensemble cast, they have less amount of episodes. Netflix has it right. It's about roughly what average Netflix season is 12, 13 episodes?
Yeah, sometimes 10, yeah.
Sometimes 10, and sometimes they're serving a bigger cast. Sometimes. There's certain things that are serving bigger. Star Trek's a really good example. Like I said, that's not 20 episodes. I think it's like 13. That has a fairly large cast, and everybody has a role to play, and they spin it out in 2 seasons.
You have to think budget-wise, too. Like, their budget's different than Power Ranger's budget.
100%. But you also have so much footage to use that you're not shooting. You just got to get really creative with it. That's what it really comes down to. Now, there are some caveats to that. Obviously, there's a couple things that you'd have to adhere to. It's a kid's show, number one. Sorry, I hit the mic. It's a kid's show, number one. I'm sure there's standards and practice and stuff. As Erlen was saying, which could be right, which I think is a problem just to begin with, is that you can't have any episodes continuing over. I think that's a huge problem, by the way, because especially if Power Rangers is on Netflix, Netflix is literally made to have you watch the next.
Are you saying canonically?
What?
Yeah.
Like the series, like each episode has to be its own thing.
No. It doesn't need to be. I mean, I think that it can work out in a way to service a full story, but the way that Netflix releases things, and like of course the season, it's bingeable, so you can have continuing stories. I think that's the biggest problem. I think Power Rangers personally is putting a lot of the handcuffs on themselves.
Yeah. So you're saying, as it stands, the formula as it stands, they cannot do Q Ranger.
No, as the formula stands now, they cannot do Q Ranger. But as the formula stands now, they're not doing anything new either.
Yeah.
It's essentially gonna be the same show with a new motif.
Let me ask you two this. Out of all the adaptations that we haven't done yet, which one realistically do you think that they would do after Dino Fury?
Sorry. I do want to address one thing because somebody is right. Doesn't Star Trek have a longer runtime? Yes, it's an hour-long show, but again, it's half the season. So if you take that and split it up, it's the same amount of time Power Ranger has.
Erlen, the question I asked, which one realistically do you think that they would do if they were going to adapt another Sentai season?
I reckon it'll be Zooja would probably be the next one.
I think so too.
It's animals and kids love animals. Like I would have gone for Tokuja, but to be fair, apparently America doesn't like trains.
So
which then it's like.
Go ahead, Erlen. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say it's a bit weird because like if you're aiming it for what like say 4 to 6 year olds, whatever, like kids love trains. Like it's a given. So I think that they're looking at the older demographic and going, nope, They don't like trains. Get them out of here.
I'm currently checking into a couple rumors right now, so we may as well address this because I feel that like a lot of you folks tune in to our coverage of Power Rangers because we have breaking news, we have inside information, whatever it may be. And again, you don't have to believe us, you don't have to do any of that. But like I said before, it's funny that these movie leaks are coming out a year after we announced what was going to be included in that movie, at least that iteration of the movie that was drafted up at the time. But here is a little bit of an update of rumors, and I'm only going to say this right now. There are rumors.
Rumor alert.
I'm still going to talk to a couple more people.
Not that one.
Not that one. Which one were you looking for?
No, not that one.
Not that one. No.
That one.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
So the rumors, there's a lot of rumors going on at this time. Obviously, we're on the precipice of the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. Iconic 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. This last season, we went back to dinosaurs. Where are we going next? What's the future hold for us? Well, we can talk about a couple of things. We already know the rumors about this animated project. And actually, if you dive through Twitter deep enough, there's seeds there that you can absolutely find. There's seeds for that animated project all over the place if you're looking in the right places for them. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I will say the animated thing, I mean, that's been the long-running rumor for a long time, and that's not off the table. Obviously, everybody knows that there has to be something there. Another thing, too, that has been discussed, that I'm sure that is floating out there on the internet, too. At least I think it is.
Said Toku Chris did.
Okay, good. That saves me here. Is this, I guess, this anniversary reunion kind of miniseries that is on the table with the original cast. Obviously minus Twee, rest in peace. But it's something that's definitely on the table. But I'm hearing that one's having a lot of issues, like getting going, like really getting started. So there may be some snafus there, but I'm trying to find out as much as I can about that project. And then the movie. There was the movie that we had just spoken about early on in the show. But it definitely seems that Hasbro doesn't have, like we had talked about earlier, they're taking a methodical approach.
Their ducks aren't in a row yet.
Yeah, I think honestly, there's a handful of things that they're obviously analyzing, and I would honestly say that Snake Eyes is probably a big factor in that.
He's like a domino.
Yeah, because that was a huge franchise they were trying to get off the ground, and you have to understand the way that these studios work. It's not Disney. Like Hasbro, Paramount is not Disney. They can't just be like, you know what, that one didn't work out, let's just do this one next. It's not like that.
They're kind of reactionary.
Not as much as Warner Brothers, but they're definitely reactionary because they don't have as much. They don't have as many franchises to play with like that.
Yeah.
And if they hurt a franchise, it's very hard for them to build it back. I mean, Paramount is luckily carried by the Mission Impossible franchise though. Like that franchise does extremely well, but it's a completely different demographic. Mm-hmm. Completely different, right? So that's a big part of this. Here's the thing though. This is going to sound crazy. I know it's going to sound crazy. But Simon Bennett wrote a tweet earlier in the year, and he was like, listen, nobody knows for sure Power Rangers, the future Power Rangers, definitely up in the air. Something along those lines. I think we even addressed it on the show. That, the future's in the air right now. Nobody knows definitively what's going to happen next. And I agree with that. Nobody does know definitively what's happening next, mainly because so much is changing there. And like I said, obviously, we're coming out of this pandemic. We're not even fully out of it yet.
Hell, we're not out of it.
We're not out of it. We obviously have people starting to come back to theaters. Obviously, with the box office numbers for Venom 2, they look promising. But that didn't help Snake Eyes. Nor did it help Paramount or Hasbro at that point. Here's the thing, though. And this is something else I'm researching. Is that it seems that Hasbro has the rights to every Super Sentai up to Ryu Soldier. So all you Kira Major fans, everything I'm hearing, it doesn't seem like they have the rights to that.
So up to
Ryu Soldier. And I believe it's everything from the past.
So even pre Mighty Morphin.
Hey, you guys want a little spoiler?
Yeah.
A little tease right here?
Yeah.
A real one?
Yeah.
I'll bet you that one of those past teams gets a major focus in the Boom Studios comic.
You think so?
I know so. And I can tell you which team.
Jetman.
Nope.
Jetman.
Bioman.
It's not Bioman. I'm not going to tell you which team. You'll figure that out for yourselves, but I promise you that there is going to be a team that you Super Sentai fans are already familiar with that is going to be in the Boom Studios comics, and it's going to be a story focused around this team.
Heirloom said that realistically he thought maybe Zyuohger. Zyuohger was
All right, so
after.
here, let's talk about this for a second, because this is where it does get juicy. So a lot of you guys, by the way, we have the Super Chat feature. It helps support the show.
Oh, we do have one.
And
Sorry.
we have one here.
Frankie Pimentel says, "You think Zenkaiger could ever work as a Power Ranger season or an anniversary season?" I think we've talked about it on the show before. Just the not even, just the tone and the design. I agree with Heirloom. It doesn't lend itself to the current iteration of Power Rangers.
Look, I'll say this, that everything I know, the origin of the Phantom Ranger is going to be connected to this team. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. I know we had just had this Zyuohger question. Did you ask Heirloom that? What did he say?
Oh, because I asked him which one he thought realistically they could do with all the Sentai adaptations. He said probably Zyuohger. I agree with him. Just the number of Rangers that they have there, the simplicity of the Zords that they have there, and just, with Power Rangers, they like to follow a formula, and it's always been animals, ninjas, and dinosaurs, right? For the most part.
Space themes, I know that was a big Saban thing, but
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, at least for the current iteration, yes. Stick with what you know, I guess.
With what you know.
And based on, the shaken up thing that Snake Eyes has done, I think maybe we're in a sort of a Power Rangers purgatory type situation.
I mean, for now, I think we're in a Power Ranger holding period, is what we'll call it. I think this is a good, and look, nobody panic. It's actually really good for the franchise, because it honestly, I'm kind of happy that happened with Snake Eyes, even though I'm sporting a fucking Arashi Kage tattoo. I'm really happy that happened.
Hold that up like that. Go like that.
I'm really I can't even see it with the light on. I can't even see it. But I'm really happy that happened with Snake Eyes rather than Power Rangers, because somebody had to take the hit. Somebody had to take those hits.
Power Rangers took the hit in 2017.
Power Rangers took the hit in 2017. But I will say this, is that let's talk about Zyuohger, because I think that's an interesting option for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't know how much of you, the fandom, knows this, but I'm sure most of the people that are in this are like deep cut Power Ranger fans. So it was between Zyuohger and Ryu Soger. They went back and forth all the way up until the very last minute. Ended up being Ryu Soger.
Happy with it, definitely happy with it.
Yep.
Obviously, I think the big selling point at that point was that Hasbro wanted to have a dinosaur franchise. They tried getting the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World franchise to Hasbro. It didn't work out, so they got Power Rangers. And this is another thing, too, because you got to think Hasbro already has their space franchise in Guardians of the Galaxy and Star Wars. So that's another reason why Q Ranger would seem a little less likely, because they already have space franchises. But Zyuohger is very interesting, and I think that if there is going to be an adaptation, that's the one we're going to get.
I'm not happy about that.
Here's the reason. You're not?
No, I'm not a big fan of the Zords.
Well, look, I've never seen Zyuohger. I don't know much about it, but I do know one thing, that they kind of like with a season like this. There's a built-in reunion episode.
Okay.
So they can already kind of do that. And at this point now, it can be on autopilot, because they already know how to produce those seasons. And it's very little.
And
know what I mean?
Technically they have the rights to it.
They have the rights to it, so why not?
So technically the toy split is probably still in effect.
So here's another thing I want to address too, because I know that I don't want to set this internet on fire going like, oh, what
you don't want to set the internet on fire?
No, not right now. Not yet, at least. And look, I don't want to give you guys false information either. I'm just telling you all the things that I'm hearing like as rumors right now. I mean, this is from people that are in the inside, but I don't want to. I'm not saying that any of this is confirmed. I'm just saying this is just the rumblings going on. Like, if you guys are Power Ranger fans at the ground level with your ear to the ground, this is the show for you. There's other great Power Ranger content shows out there. Ranger Liz is about to come up on her 200th episode. Congratulations to her. Where's the clap thing here?
Oh,
The clap thing. That's not the wrong.
That's the laughter, Jazz. No.
Ranger Command Power is killing. Obviously, Heirloom has great content. You can
Oh
see
yeah,
easily.
I love Heirloom's premiere videos every morning. It
I'll be
gets me
honest
through
with you.
work.
The person though that I think that people should not be sleeping on, because I feel like he has a lot of great theories, especially in this realm now, is George Jr. I would highly recommend checking out his Zyuohger stuff. I would highly recommend checking it out. And George Jr. is also a friend of the show, and he's an amazing dude. But back to this real quick. I think that if you're looking for an anniversary season, this could be it. Now, and also it's cheaper. It's cheaper than doing your own.
Yes, because their suits are screen prints. It's just animals. It's just a black screen print on their shirt. There's not much going on there compared to Ryu Soldier with Dino Fury, where it's all armor and everything.
But I did want to say, I didn't want to set the internet on fire because I know we were also the ones that announced that there's a split between Toei and Hasbro. And that is still the case. Everything that I know, that is still the case. They just happen to have the rights for these other seasons.
Yeah.
So, to me, it makes the most sense financially, I would say, and it buys them a little bit of time. Now, here's the big thing, though. I feel, though, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's been the past 30 years of anticipation. Maybe it's wanting more from the franchise, just like a lot of you guys do at home watching. I do think a little piece of me, though, wants something more. 30 years is a long time, right? You got to celebrate that. You got to celebrate that in a big way. And to do it on Zyuohger, that's one thing. But I almost wish that the Legacy War, the Legacy Battle, whatever it was called, I almost wish that was this.
So you're saying that you wish that they never did Super Mega Force?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I hope that they can redeem that series in the course of Zyuohger. I'm also saying that I would like to see this be a real anniversary, because I feel like we've toyed with anniversaries before and cool episodes, but come on, man, just give us like a good 3-parter, epic, epic little mini storyline within the season. As longtime fans, 30 years of passion, 30 years of this franchise, it's at least the franchise can do for us.
Like you were saying how the franchise isn't good at promoting stuff. I think we're far off. We're far from that situation. Do you want to tell a little story about a conversation you had with a past ranger about the Super Ninja Steel?
Yeah.
I mean, it's safe to say you can say his name now, right? No.
I'm not gonna put him. I'm putting him on
No.
blast. I'm gonna fuck out.
Yeah.
So, this was when it was Dimensions in Danger.
Dimensions in Danger. Yes.
I remember this because I was at a Comic-Con meeting, a meeting with Comic-Con about the shooting suite, and this was at some hotel in Century City.
Oh, Comic-Con, right there.
Yeah. And that's where they gave me the backpack and all this other shit, right?
Yeah.
So, we were there having the meeting, and I got this, text message. It was like, hey, can you please, it's Jason Funk, can you call me back? And I was like, all right, I'll wait, I'll call him back later. And I got out of the meeting, and then he was like, hey, man, I saw that you guys released a story about all of us coming back. It can really hurt NDAs. Wondering if you could take it down. And then that was the message I got in the course of the meeting, so I didn't have time to, check it after, or check it during. Or I did check it during. I didn't have time to respond to it during the meeting. So I called him. Sorry, I didn't mean to cough in your direction. So I called him back after, and he was like, you know what? They're not really promoting it, and it's already out there, so it's best you keep it up because it's actually giving it more publicity. And I was like, well, see, that's exactly what we're trying to do. So here's the deal, and I know that this is one thing I don't like about Hasbro, or even Spawn for that matter, the way that they did things, is that they always wanted to keep things like a secret. Now I understand certain things like having the cast come out and things like that. Obviously, I get that kind of stuff, but just talking about some of these returns that are happening, man. They could have been so much more impactful, and the ratings would see a jump if you would have just promoted it. And that's the thing. You live and die by these ratings, and that's what executives are looking at, and they're not doing a good job.
I mean, even JDF praised you for the type of things that you did to help hype it up.
Look, I know that how do I say this without sounding like an asshole? I know that there are other Power Ranger outlets out there that don't like us, and that's okay. Because to tell you the truth, I don't care. What I do care about, though, is making sure that the brand, that everybody is kind of cool with where the brand is heading. I'm not here to shit on the brand. I'm not here to downgrade the brand. I'm just here to be real about the things that are going on with it, and hopefully what the future is for it. Because we've been doing this for a long time, and I've been talking about Power Rangers for the better part of 8 years at this point. It's 9 years or something.
Yeah,
and it's a long time, bro. It is a long time to invest effort in doing all this stuff for Power Rangers. But at this point now, I'm in a position where I just want to see the future of the franchise. I always hated those is this going to be the end of Power Rangers kind of stuff. And even though sometimes we were the ones doing it, mainly because it was the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that either. But at the end of the day, I want to see the franchise thrive. I want to see it succeed.
And they appreciate what we do too.
Now more so now.
Yeah.
It was pulling teeth earlier. You know that. When we had that cast reveal. There's a handful of you that may have had, that are in the chat that knew about it. I knew you knew about it. Aaron, did you know that we had the cast reveal ahead of time?
Which cast reveal?
I don't
Dino
think
Fury.
so.
Well, the
I know you released it, but that was it.
There's a handful of people that knew, and I've said this story before, and I'll just say it just to reiterate it. But like, I remember like emailing the rep, being like, "Hey, here's the cast for the new season. We want to run something. We want you guys to confirm this. If not, we're gonna run it in a few hours. We just want a response." They did not get back to me. Like, mind you, I emailed them right before that. My rep, I was like, "Hey, are you still the brand rep for Power Rangers?"
They were.
Yeah. She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, great." That was literally, and then like 17 minutes later, I sent a new email, no response, and like. So I was like, all right, well, we're just going to put this out. And it's crazy because then I also saw Simon Bennett on the Ranger board gauging fan reaction. But the truth is, like, I feel like a lot of these other reviews and leaks, and it goes to like these other outlets where it gets swallowed up. We have a Power Ranger audience, and we want to embrace our Power Ranger audience. And we think the fandom's kind of cool.
We got a super chat from Thomas DeCoste who says, when will we officially about Power Rangers post Dino Fury?
My guess is, when are we going to officially hear about Power Rangers post Dino Fury? My guess is no sooner than February.
Yeah.
Or I might say no later than February.
No later than February. Yes.
Is it New York Toy Fair around by that time?
Well, here's the thing. So, and I don't know if it was due to the story that we dropped. So if anybody really remembers when we dropped the Ryu Soldier thing, I think we were still at hashtag show at the time. And I think that
we were. Yeah, it was the tail end of it.
Hashtag show. So when we dropped Ryu Soldier, that was right before Toy Fair, and I think it was, I want to say, like within a week or a few days within Toy Fair, and then that's when they revealed it was going to be that season, like right after that.
Yeah.
Like it was right around that time. So we knew that was like in play. We just didn't know it was going to be called Dino Fury, and actually they didn't know it was going to be called Dino Fury at the time because they just showed the
as long as it wasn't Dino Knights.
I think
Dino Knights would be cool.
I just remember that. I mean, I feel like there are little signs of where the series is going. Well, I mean, while we're on it, I mean, Joe hasn't finished this season yet, but me and Heirloom have. Heirloom has been very kind enough to keep me in the loop as far as where the new episodes can be. Oh shit! Where the new episodes
grab the light.
Where the new episodes can be watched. I have been gone, literally been gone for about 2 months right now.
Yeah, so you want to blame the show not being on the air? Blame Jezzer.
Yes, it is me. I have all the equipment, and I have all the. They don't actually have Heirloom's phone number. No, I'm kidding.
I know, right? Easily give it to you.
I have been doing some secret training with the Space Force.
Have you really?
Yeah, I went to the Space Force facility. So
are you allowed to even say this?
Yeah, I can say it.
Okay,
I can say it. But
so yeah, that's not the next season of Power.
No, that isn't. Space Force is not the next season. So Heirloom has been send me all the links on Instagram as far as where to watch the new season. I've been watching the new season. I know, spoiler alert if we do talk about some things in Dino Fury, but let me ask you this, Heirloom. We all know from Twitter and Facebook and all that Zed does make a return to the series. Do you potentially see him as the next big bad for season 2 of Dino Fury?
I see there's 2 possible ways that this could work. One, yes, he does come back because you have Colonel Shepard coming back. And I reckon that they're transporting all the weapons that they've taken from the crystal dimension and going, hey, we're going to keep it at your dino facility because no one can get in regardless. Knowledge you have a teleporter. Or he is the next big bad for the next season.
Ooh.
Because if they blow him up, I'd be like, A, you probably spent a crap ton of money on that suit. B, it better not just be a monster at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. I'd want some epic, Zed ripping the Zords apart. But then if they just treat him like a monster of the week, then I think that would be a very bad thing, considering they made all this hype up and then, considering who he was as well.
So, Joe, you don't know.
Those my 2 theories.
Has anybody heard Lex Lang do the voice yet?
No. Is he the voice of Zed?
Well.
but as you may not know that they have a character on the show.
I'm pretty sure this is announced, right? He is the voice of Zed.
They have a character on the show that revives villains.
Okay.
The person that they keep reviving is Boom. What is it?
Boom Tower.
Boom Tower. Literally, they revived him almost 3 times now.
Absolute waste.
Do you think, Heirloom? I'm gonna ask you this: do you think that it's a lack of monster suits situation here?
Probably.
You think so?
Yeah, because I mean, you could have brought anyone back. Like, you could have brought Eclipta back, or someone else. Like, that was a big thing, but they were like, oh well, we can't be bothered. But then I'm just kind of thinking maybe because I've never watched all of Rhea Soldier, so I don't know where Boom Tower, like if he gets destroyed or if he gets brought back constantly. But yeah, I'd say
he's not the only one too. Even that werewolf thing they keep bringing back. They keep bringing back these monsters. I feel like I'm getting from the tone of the show, like if we did finish the first season, that they're recycling monsters because they don't have any more monsters.
Really?
For me, that's what I think. I personally think.
What I always thought was cool too, and this is a Super Sentai thing, and I know they did this in Beast Morphers, is I like when there's a human alter ego.
Yes.
They did that really well in Lupin versus Potter Ranger, and they also did it really well in Tokyuger.
Yeah, and even in this, there is a human villain in the show.
He almost looks like I think he looks like Jordy, or what's his name? Doesn't he like the gold?
Kinda. Heirloom, who do you think? Do you think he has a direct tie to Ion and Russell's character? Why am I blanking?
No. I think, and this has been a theory that's going around, that Void Knight and the girl in the container is Amelia's mum and dad.
But don't you think?
Are we doing this Mr. Freeze thing?
Yeah, it is a Mr. Freeze. It's literally a Mr. Freeze thing.
I shouldn't say, oh God. I mean, that's pretty cool for Power Rangers. I mean,
but didn't she see the person in the tube when they were tied to it?
Yeah, I think they mentioned that Amelia didn't know her parents. So if that's the case, that works perfectly. If Pop was there and he was just like, oh my God, then it would have been there. But he's never been around. So I think the armor from Rhea Soldier, because I know in the legendary Sentai battle, the armor like kind of brainwashes them, like to make them evil.
Yes.
Because so I reckon this could be a thing where it's he's going like, oh, I'm going to do it. That's his desire. Like, so he doesn't care. Or maybe it's a theory now. Could be maybe it's the armor's wife and it's not his, and it's just using him as a host.
Maybe. I mean, from the last image for the first season, we saw the helmet on the ground. I do think that she could put on she will be the next Void Knight.
Yeah. See, I one thing I would have loved to have that last scene would have been like literally just see her walking towards it, like literally putting Void Knight in a lap, going, "I'm going to take over," and then have the power of the morphing grid as well as the Sporax, because obviously she had morphing grid energy pumped into her. So I'd be like, that would have been a really kind of cool thing.
So in the series, to revive her, pretty much she was extracting the power. I guess Stonehenge is like a catalyst, like a antenna for the. It's like the bridge between the morphing grid and the Power Rangers' powers. It's like their connection. So in order to, because they were getting drained of the power, or they're having the power flow through them to revive her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kai Moya. Fuck. What's his name? Ollie destroyed Dino Henge, so that they can do that. It's honestly, I really, really enjoyed at least these last few episodes.
So are you saying that Stonehenge is kind of like a pocket energy for grid energy? Like it
Dino
has
Henge?
grid energy there that kind of like they can.
It's really like a receiver for the power. Their connection to the grid. Towards the end, like they destroy the Dino Henge, and a Morphing Master comes back and fixes those things.
So I think that if I understand what you're saying correctly, I think there's an element of that is going to play into that Super Sentai team that I was talking about.
That's why I'm saying I feel like Zed has a bigger part in this. Like, he's one of the characters that they revived. They brought him back from the dead, but he was being controlled by
the compliance collar.
The compliance collar that we saw in Beast Morphers. But he's too big of a character for them to just waste.
Well, and they're getting a pretty decent actor to kind of carry on the legacy.
Someone from the Star Wars world. So,
I mean, it's not. You know what? I'll say this: the Zed voice actor is going to be on this show very soon. But that's something else I wanted to ask all the people in the chat. Is what do you want to see on the Range Rapid? Because Jezzer and I are going to be formatting different ideas for this show. One of those things is we are going to bring on guests.
A lot of guests.
A lot of guests. Another thing is we're just going to have like fun segments. I don't know if you guys want to do actual full-on reviews, comic reviews. We have toy news we didn't even get to.
Yeah. One reason why we haven't had a lot of guests on here is because of COVID. I love, like, towards the tail end when we were at #, we were booking guests like on the show every single time, and it was great. It's actually great. It's different having them on like a Zoom call than having them in person. Like, it's like a total.
Oh, you mean when we were at the studio, man? That was so. Bringing them in, it was so much.
It's fun. So much. It's so like the dynamic is different. Like, you could tell now. Even we've been doing Zoom calls for like the past almost 2 years. The energy is different, right?
Yeah. It's easier to flow too. Look, one thing I was talking about this just literally in the other room. I think that there's a lot of people in Heirloom. I'm sure you can relate to this. There's a lot of people that think, it's just so easy to pick up a camera and just start doing shows.
It's not.
It's so much harder doing it through Zoom because I got to worry about like if there's a delay, if I'm talking over that person, then I have to stop, and they stop. Then
there's like even you and me know doing freaking junket interviews through Zoom. There are some benefits, like having the questions right in front of you.
Yeah, that's a huge benefit.
Literally, when you're in a junket, like you have like a little phone or something like here for you.
I have my questions on the screen.
Yeah, it's just right. It's literally right there. But the only thing is, body language is a huge thing. Huge. It's a huge thing. So doing like these interviews with the Rangers, sometimes a lot of stuff that doesn't get shown, or a lot of stuff doesn't get expressed the right way, And
then we want to also integrate some of our other people that are doing great Power Ranger content.
Yes.
All around the net, like Heirloom here. As our good co-host.
Heirloom, I wish you lived here in the States. It would be so cool.
It would be actually.
I'd be around all the time.
Yeah, I know, seriously. He would just be here the whole time. Obviously, we want to put a shine on some of the people that are in-house here as well, like Bryce and his crew doing the Retro Henshin Hangout with Ian and Blackwing, who's also in the chat. Yeah. We got Josh going on a little bit later doing Retro Ranger Wrap-Up. They're talking Time Force, one of my seasons that I didn't like the most. But that's my own personal thing, obviously. I did tell them I'm going to be on every single episode in the season. That didn't happen
Time
once.
Force is hard.
Wild
Force is going to be a hard one, too, though.
You know what? Wild Force might change, though, because there's a chance in their Wild Force one. Well, we're talking about how to do it differently. So we might do smaller reviews, but I just might have a Wild Force actor with them every week.
You know who I'd love to have on the Wild Force show is Jack, and we just Jack, and just drink and watch the show, and just kind of like
Jack randomly will text me sometimes, and I think they're like, right? This random,
dude, Jack literally, like Jack is literally one of the.
He's cool.
He's the coolest dudes, and he's been around Hollywood for a long time.
Yeah. That's one of those things too, and honestly, that's the one thing that I can't wait to get back to is those live events where we can see those people, see you guys in person at something like MorphCon. You know what? Here's another thing, too. We are working on our own live events. We just did the Viewing Globe a year ago, and I was thinking, what if we did these mini pop-up Viewing Globe events? What if we got a full cast together, a full Power Ranger cast together, and did a what-if thing? That's a possibility. Our what-if thing. But did a... what's going on here? What are you doing?
Well, it looks like we have a special guest.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
Is it Jack? No, it's not. It's not Jack. Let's see.
There he is.
Tail in.
Freaking 50 minutes after.
So let me go back to this conversation. Let me get back to this real quick. So this year, or 2022, or even maybe towards the end of this year, get ready for Viewing Globe live pop-up events. And here's the thing. Here's the fun thing for a lot of you fans out there. They won't be just here in Southern California.
What?
They are going to be around the globe.
In Texas.
They'll be in Texas. We'll be having one hosted probably in the UK.
Yes.
These pop-up events will be like no other event you've ever been to with Power Rangers. It's not a convention. It's not nothing like that. These are going to be anybody that was at our Angel Grove prom. That's a small taste of what these pop-up events are going to be.
I really wanted to go to that one too, Shane.
But these will be, and also here's another thing too. Every single one of these events are going to be very unique to that time frame. That means just like the Angel Grove prom line. I said I'm never doing another Angel Grove prom. I'm sticking to that. I am never going to be throwing another Angel Grove prom. Just like any of these events. I was going to say which one the first one was. But I will never be doing. We will never, at least at the Illuminerdi, we will never be doing what we're doing with this cast ever again like that.
Never ever again.
So that will be fun. Yes, and I know that Black Moon says New York included. Absolutely, New York's going to be
New York
included.
is
You gonna be
definitely
kidding me?
included.
Just you wait. These are going to be definitely things that have never been done in Power Rangers before, or are probably never going to be
They
done
want
again.
an interview with Jonathan Entwistle. Can you make that happen?
Oh wow.
You think, you know what? Here's the thing. You talk about interviews that are coming up. I'll put it to you like this. For a lot of you diehard Power Ranger fans, I'm talking hardcore Power Ranger fans that can really, that really want to know about things that could have happened. There's a great interview coming up that we have with somebody that was in the franchise that I think you guys are going
Haim
to...
Saban?
How'd you know? No, but I mean, it's going to be a good interview for anybody that was a fan of something called...
That was a joke. That was speculation.
That's a joke.
Anybody that was a fan of possibly something...
One thing that we can talk briefly about on the show that I was super excited about, and Heirloom
Space, scoot over.
I'm trying to stay the shot.
and Heirloom,
My mic isn't on.
Yeah, in the shot. There you go. Your mic isn't on.
No, it's not on.
it's not on. It is on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it is.
just low.
One thing that Heirloom, I would like to personally thank you now is every time a toy would go live, and most of the time I was in the desert. I barely have any internet. And Heirloom would send me the exact links to all the Hasbro Pulse, all the Target stuff for all the new toys that have been coming out. I mean, one of them was like the Ecliptor and Astronema thing that was pretty cool that I thought was...
It's good to have you, buddy.
Hey, you know, I'm glad to be here. I'm thinking about Space Force. You know.
Space Force now, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the ones like when I was near the Space Force thing that I was super excited about is every week the new Ninja Turtle Power Ranger figures. That's literally I'm gonna be so hyped when that comes out.
That is pretty cool, though.
It is fucking amazing. I can't fucking wait. And then
That Finster is awesome.
the Finster. I know that's a big favorite of Daniel's here. Daniel loves Finster. One of your favorite villains, right? But
He is my favorite villain. Like, so complex.
and also the Ninjetti team. We're still waiting on 2 more.
You know, I want that.
I think it's pretty cool that they went ahead and did that.
When are you know it's only a matter of time. All of you 34 viewers out there watching us live, you know it's only a matter of time until we get the Wild West Ranger.
Oh, we did easy.
Do you also think we get Masked Rider?
Ooh,
Dax?
and
Dax, whatever his name is?
Furbus.
Furbus?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
One thing that came out this week, like literally maybe 2 days, a day ago or 2 days ago, was Zane, the Silver Zero Space Ranger.
There was also a bunch of other leaks that they had too. The Yellow Zeo Ranger, Tanya,
That was a leak.
yeah. The Green Dino Charge Ranger. What was his name? Riley.
Wait,
I didn't know about
It's
that.
all.
you
It's
didn't know?
all.
Wait, you didn't know about those ones?
No, I didn't know that they
They've
were
been on
out.
my Amazon for like.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been out for ages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I knew-
Maybe I ordered them. You know, it's a possibility I ordered them and just kind of. You know what? So my cogs just came.
Oh, your cogs
My
just came.
cogs just came. Then my Psycho. No, was it the A Squad Rangers? A bunch of them got delayed. Like all of them got delayed.
You know what? You want to know? I thought I pre-ordered the cat set. I didn't. I was looking on Hasbro.
Oh, man, I don't
Tiger.
know if I did
I
either.
honestly, there's so many coming out. I don't know
Same.
which sites they're on.
Same.
Oh,
Same.
I need a freaking spreadsheet. There's so many. Like I wish it was all on one site.
Yeah, for some reason I feel like I got the Metallic Rangers, but maybe I didn't get all of them. Like for sure, I know I didn't get all of the.
Did you get the Century Ranger?
No, I didn't get the Century Ranger. I know for a fact. I think it's the. Man, I want to say it's the Red A Squad Ranger.
Did you get Phantom Ranger at least?
I did get Phantom Ranger. Of
Okay.
course, I got
Nice.
Phantom Ranger. I got Phantom. I got most of them. I just didn't get. I don't think I got the Riley. I didn't get the. I don't think I got the Yellow Zeo Ranger. I could be wrong. I got to go look because I split it up through Big Bad Toy Store, who's. I hope you're watching Big Bad Toy Store.
Big Bad Toy Store.
Hasbro Pulse, and Amazon.
Amazon. I love you, Amazon.
Amazon affiliate links. If you go to our website, use our
Amazon. I love you,
affiliate.
Amazon. You guys are great. Honestly, if there's anybody out there right now
Bezos is king.
that wants that's
what's wrong with Mike?
that's buying the cat set, he is on it.
I'm like, it's there. Oh, wow.
There we go.
Okay, if there's any, no, that's you.
That's me.
That's
That's
you.
you.
If there's anybody out there that's buying the cat set and you don't want the Zeo pink and you want just for
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Just
If
let
you don't
me
want
know.
the figure that everyone's buying
Yeah.
it for, I mean,
because I already have, 3 Pink Rangers or some shit? I don't know.
you know what? The monsters. I know I got Eye Guy.
Okay.
I know I got Pudgy Pig.
You got Pudgy Pig came out?
Yeah, man. No,
Did you not see the lunchbox?
You're not gonna say.
Oh, I didn't buy that one.
I did get it.
It's because I didn't invest in the freaking King Sphinx and everything. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I got those just laying in a box, like at home. Just
What's in that
chilling
box?
in. It's a great question. We have a giant power? Oh, yeah, well, I can tell you one of the things that's in there that Josh didn't ship out is Heirloom's Morpher. It's in there.
Oh yeah, it is.
Josh.
I can also tell you there's a bunch of lightning. That's a whole box that Hasbro sent us. So there's lightning collection figures. And there's those.
That's a nice box.
I know. Well, I'll tell you this much right now. These Hasbro boxes that they have. By the way, I gotta just send Josh Perry out. I got him a. Where you going? You get the box. I got Hasbro sent us this What If box set with all these Legos in it, like the Marvel Legos.
that's cool.
I got to send that to Josh Perry. But yeah, they sent us this whole box. I mean, we gave some of this stuff away, but I don't know. It's sitting here.
Wait,
they actually sent
hold
us
on.
2 of these.
If Pink and Boom Tower is in there,
Yeah, they think
I'm
they
gonna
are.
be pissed.
I think they are.
Is
All right, well, let's bring.
Well,
this
we have
over.
2 of those boxes though.
Let's bring
We have
this
2 of them.
over and get you upset.
Yeah, this is really big.
Oh, I haven't seen the Dino Fury one, or is that just a Power Ranger one?
this is no? It's got Dino Fury in it.
There's a lot.
I feel like
so I got
there's
the
more
Beast
stuff.
Morphers
There's
one.
more stuff in there than there is. Like I think.
you got my head. You got my mic. All right.
Okay, all right, hold on. This is a mess. This is a little bit of a mess. All right, open it from your end.
And today, dear viewers, we have an unboxing for you all.
Yeah, there you
There's
go.
a Pink Ranger.
Yeah, that is the one. I can't even remember who
This
that was supposed to go
is
to.
Heirlooms.
There's some more.
Well, we had 2 boxes though. They gave us 2 of these.
Oh, they did. I
Yeah.
thought you sent one over to Bryce.
I'm not sure. We have this. Then in that case, maybe we sent us 3.
Ooh, this one I skipped out.
We have a
on.
ton of these. I mean, there's a lot of lightning collection stuff here. It's just all. Is this guy?
That's an entire wave.
This Boom,
Boom
yeah.
Tower is
That was
what you're
supposed to
looking
be.
at.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who was that? I don't even know. It's been like fucking
A
5
year,
months.
like right? There's just a ton of
been a
these.
while.
Just a ton of these. They've just been sitting here collecting dust in the corner.
Okay, all right.
Errol, we gotta get this out to Errol. What
I
the
know.
hell's going
What
on?
the fuck? He can't connect. He can't connect to the battle grid.
I don't look nothing there. Sadness.
That's a
I can
heavy
connect
ass
to the
box.
sad
I don't think
grid.
people realize that's a really heavy box.
One thing I do want to talk about that we did.
Why don't we just give out the whole flipping box and get it
No,
out
because someone is
of here?
somebody.
All right.
One thing I do want to talk about that, like, I have a friend. She doesn't follow Power Rangers at all. I think she dropped off Mighty Morphin like the rest of us. And I told her about the Izzy episode, and she was so happy. She is a member. And she's like, I never thought any kid show would ever do that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Power Rangers is actually behind the ball with that.
Really?
Yeah.
A little
yeah.
bit.
I'm like, there's My Little Pony. There's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's great that it happened though.
Yeah.
Yeah, kudos to Power Rangers for finally doing it. I mean, I think that's a big step in the right direction of inclusion.
Speaking of that, Frankie Pimento sent us a super chat. What you thought about the first LGBT Ranger? Are you worried they'll start forcing every season?
Whoa. I
whoa.
hate the word force.
Force sounds like a negative word.
Like I don't think it's forced. Just like when you walk outside and you see different people, I'm not forced to look at them. You know what I mean? It's like people have differences, and I think Power Rangers. I honestly think Power Rangers is the perfect example of inclusion. I mean, if you take the initial 5 Rangers that they had, granted, I know that there weren't really racial stereotypes. They never stood out because of certain things, right? No. I mean, Zach did have hip hop keto. I mean, that was a thing. But I think with Power Rangers has really been at the forefront for the last almost 30 years now of environmental issues, teamwork issues, not having racial barriers, and now inclusion of the LGBTQ community. I think that this is what the show absolutely needs. I don't understand all the hate about it.
My thing is that it's always been a trailblazer, like you said, for those things, but also some other things which were mostly like individuality.
Yeah.
The idea and understanding that you can be who you have to be, but you can also pursue being who you want to be. You don't always have to do what everyone else suggests or tells you to do. And that's always been the thing for Power Rangers. So it's just a shock that they have such
And
a
who's
delay.
to say that they haven't had them included, in past seasons? I know. The the actor Tabor.
Michael Tabor.
He felt strongly that his character was part of the LGBT community. He felt very strongly about that, and I mean, I can definitely see it. I think that this is just them, like, outright saying it and trying to get kids to be open-minded about it. I think that's great.
Here's an interesting thing too. If the people behind the show were as open-minded as the people behind the show, if the people behind the show were as open-minded in the 90s as they are now, I don't think David Yost would have left the show the way that he did, and I think the Billy character would have gotten that proper exit that he so much deserved.
That's true.
So I think that there's a lot that can be that we can take away from this. Honestly, I hope, to tell you the truth, I hope it's an olive branch, if anything, to have somebody like David Yost return to the franchise and get a proper exit. Let's get real about one thing. Is that in terms of, I know that let's get real about something in Power Rangers, but in all honesty, in terms of Power Rangers, not only is David Yost kind of like a trailblazer for who he is, but also he's one of the most beloved characters in the franchise.
Oh, yeah.
So I think giving that character a proper exit would be, a proper send-off would be the right way to do it, a classy way, if you will, for the franchise.
And natural. I felt it was very natural compared to some, like, the way some CW shows do it.
It was very natural.
When you say a proper send-off, what exactly does that consist of for you?
Well, it means wrapping up a full-on story. You know who I think the only character that's actually had a proper send-off, I feel like, is Kimberly.
Yeah.
Jason, Zach, and Trini, they kind of got tossed aside because we already know the contract disputes that went on there.
Adam, Tommy, Kat. That felt like it was super rushed. I know that was a two-parter, but there was nothing to lead you to believe that they were leaving if you were just following the show, right? Another proper send-off is honestly Power Rangers in Space and Zordon. That's a fair proper send-off.
That was a smashing one, I think.
Smashing one.
And I also think that, once we started getting those one-and-done seasons, well, I guess they're kind of one-and-done seasons from Space on, I think they were pretty good and decent send-off seasons. But the original cast, for the most part, doesn't have, real proper, all right. Well, I guess Tommy kind of does with his, Dimensions and all these other appearances that he's done. Well, yeah. I guess even Austin kind of does.
I don't know, when Kimberly...
by coming back, yeah.
When Austin when Kimberly came back in Turbo, ooh.
Oh, yeah, that was... you could tell that was almost like, well, you did sign a deal for 2 movies.
But, I think that's a good place to...
Wait, before we get into this, we got to talk about this Izzy thing a little bit more because I think it deserves the attention.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Look, we're a part of the Izzy gang. I think this is such a cool thing, and also
honestly, I love Izzy.
She's probably one of the best characters.
She's one of my favorites. One thing that I do notice, her commitment to the stance every morph is it's like so stiff and so fucking. She's so committed. I fucking love Izzy. Yeah. She's so great.
I think throughout this whole cast, I think is a really good cast, top to bottom. And I actually think that here's the thing; it's a bit different for us too because we get.
I'm just not a fan of Russell because he's a Clippers fan.
I love Russell. I think Russell's. I love Russell.
I love Russell. I love his choice in basketball teams.
Hey, what?
Great. I think he's a great guy.
Daniel, get out of this room.
Hey! You know what? There's room.
Get out of this room.
There's room, and we need that. So this way, we know the Lakers will always be on top.
Every time I see that blue and red hat he wears, I know they're covering a Clipper sign. I know it is.
That's great. Yeah, but honestly, I think this cast, top to bottom, is a really good one. I will say, I think it's gonna be harder to see all of these Rangers at conventions because I don't think all of them want to do conventions.
I agree.
But I think that you'll see a lot of them. But I
saw Hunter was doing some.
Hunter's great. Hunter's awesome. But I'm hoping that the second season lives up to the expectation the first season kind of set. I think that's what we had with Beast Morphers. I think Beast Morphers was actually a pretty strong season, pretty strong series.
To be fair, too, you were talking about how it is possible that they could do 12 Rangers. They had a hard time doing 3 or 5.
Well, I also didn't say it was. Look, that was a different creative team too, and I didn't say.
That's what I was saying.
Look, I get that there's things that are implemented, things that need to happen in Power Rangers. At times, I'm sure there's a lot that goes into making an episode.
Yeah. But
I definitely think you can service 12 characters in the course of 40 episodes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
If you actually take the Christmas and Halloween episode and do cool shit with them, then I guess you got 44. Yeah. Because there's different things you can do to serve a story and not just make it a clip show.
I think we need
By the
more
way,
Santa episodes.
I'm not a clip show guy anymore. Heirloom, I know you don't like clip shows either.
I hate them.
Why does Santa have more screen time than a lot of the other characters on the show?
Can you imagine, like, it would be the first time in Power Rangers history that they go a 1 hour Christmas special, and it's just literally them all going, do you remember that one time you did this? And they have to go through each Ranger, and it takes an hour, and you sat there and going, yeah, we could have done this, we already know it. Oh, I hate clip shows so much.
So wait, Daniel, pitch me a Christmas episode. Go. That's not a clip show. With Dino Fury.
I say do a Christmas episode that doesn't involve Santa. But what it does do is somehow involve humanitarian work as far as something like homeless or something like that. And
so they're battling poverty.
But what I would suggest is actually not being a situation that's happening on Earth. It's a situation that's happening somewhere else.
So it has to be, but you got to use the Dino Fury team. You got to use the Dino Fury team.
Then definitely. We'd actually get to go back to RAVCon.
Okay.
RAVCon would have already been discovered by then. And what we're doing now is dealing with the fact that now we are on RAVCon. We're seeing all the things that are happening to RAVCon.
At least
they bring Christmas to RAVCon.
At least
I was
the
going to
show.
say that.
What about you? What's your?
Well, I'll say this first. At least the show handled it pretty well. Where canonically it was right after the finale.
You've been using the word canonically a lot. Why?
Because I like that word.
Phil
It's
DeFranco's been using it.
Anyway, what's your pitch? You have a pitch?
Okay.
Give me a Christmas pitch.
a Christmas pitch. It has something to do. It has have to have something to do with Buzz Blast, right? So let's say they're doing a charity stream or something of that, and it gets taken over. And I think that the Power Rangers have to reveal themselves on the stream. I don't understand the secrecy behind it.
I don't get it either.
You know, like Avengers don't hide behind.
Very true, but Avengers are backed by the government.
Are they?
This team isn't backed by the government.
Wait, all right. So, Erlen, what's your pitch?
I don't know. That's quite hard. I probably would have like on RAFCON, everyone hates each other. You know, there's no Christmas cheer, and the Rangers have to go and give it to them and be like, "This is what Christmas is," and they go like, "We've been missing for millions of years. Why don't we have Christmas?" And then Santa just comes up and he fights.
He put Santa in
He becomes the Christmas Ranger. And
I knew a
beats,
Christmas Ranger. We had to get a Christmas
bad
Ranger.
guys.
I think my pitch would be: what city does the season take place in?
Oh fuck!
I don't know.
I mean,
But the city is.
Erlen, what city does the season take place in?
I have no idea. I know it's not Coral Harbor, but I know chat's going to be like, no.
Whatever this city takes place.
Reef Hedge.
Somebody in the chat, I'm sure.
Dino.
How do we not know this?
Dino Reef. I only look that stuff up when we do the quiz with the Rangers. That's
Actually,
it.
do that too. That's true. Well, anyway, I would say that the Zords have destroyed this apartment building,
Oh God.
and it's only the kids left in this orphanage,
God.
and they hate Power Rangers because they destroyed their home. So
It's
they
like
need to bring in-
Wanda and
No, just
Pietro.
There we go.
So that means the caretakers were.
We got another super chat. You think they should? By the way, this is from who? Joseph?
Frankie Pimentel. You think they should have kept the conflict between Red and Gold for a few episodes going? That would have been cool. I personally think that would have been cool.
Yeah, you know what? That's another thing we don't see anymore is like tension between teammates.
There was a little bit in one episode, yeah.
Internal conflict.
Yeah.
But we don't see it drawn out. Because I do remember, like,
Sky and
Sky and Jack.
Jack, you know,
Eric and Wes.
Zane and Andros for a little bit. It was kind of one-sided, but
I do wish that Tommy and Jason were along the same line.
oh, dude, it would have been so good. Two alphas going at it.
I mean,
it's
the
so
fans
good.
already wanted to have it.
Pine
Simon
Ridge.
mentioned that
Pine
it was-
Ridge.
Why does that sound like a mop solution? Oh, buy your new bottle
So
of Pine
I did
Ridge.
ask earlier. By the way, thank you for the super chat. I did ask earlier though what other things you wanted to see in this show because I promise you that we are going to start implementing new things in this show, implementing new segments in this show. You know, different things. So I did want to know what you guys wanted to see because we do want to make this show as professional as we
Would
can.
an online NBA 2K battle between me and Russell count as Ranger content?
Yes.
Yes. I need
Actually,
that in my
so
life.
that actually goes back to the Twitch stuff. If you do want to, by the way, that's actually a good segue. So
Segway.
here's the thing: I know that we're going to start. You're going to see more of our video content across multiple platforms, and it's going to be different content across multiple platforms. So for a lot of you guys that aren't that don't know that we have a presence on Facebook, we actually do have a fairly large Power Ranger page. It's called Power Ranger Cosmic Protector News. It has a bunch of different memes. It has different news articles, and it keeps you up to date with everything in Power Rangers. But Jezzer here brings up a great point. Now, there are going to be Power Ranger actors on our Twitch channel doing different content outside of Power Rangers. This is a great idea, that Russell Curry idea.
Oh, yes, petition. Everybody tweet at him and say that I'm challenging him to an NBA 2K.
Deal. Done deal.
Come on,
We're gonna
come
do
on.
this.
Let's do this.
All right, you know what? I'm going to set this up.
Lakers versus Clippers.
Lakers
Let's
versus
go.
Clippers, NBA 2K, Ranger wrap-up against Dino Fury. So that'll be on the table. But we are going to have other Ranger actors doing Twitch streams with us that are outside of Power Ranger content. I can tell you right now, one for a lot of you longtime Illuminerdi / #show fans, Quest for Player 2 is one of those shows coming back that is going to have a lot of Power Ranger people on it. But check that content out. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff that we're doing. Like I said, too, we're going to have interviews that are going to be in this show, different types of interviews, more reviews, talking about the toys, talking about everything you guys want to know about. I think one of the charms of our show, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys would agree, is that we dive deep into the back, the back end of Power Rangers, into the deep cut news stuff. But that's what you guys are going to be seeing very, very soon.
Yep. All right, I think that's a good place to stop. So remember, you guys tweet at him because I want to take those Clippers down.
What was the game again?
NBA 2K22, Lakers versus Clippers, me versus Russell. Let's go. I know we had that Blake and red versus blue fight. I think that this is gonna be great.
We do need those promo shots where you're like this and like this.
No, is it like a basketball and you have a Lakers jersey on?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be good. But that is going to do it for us here. By the way, thank you for joining us in the tail end. Daniel was pretty busy this day, but at least he got in here.
Yeah.
But guys, are we going to be here next week?
Yeah, we can be here next week.
We are going to be here. The Ranger wrap-up has almost become events now, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be here next week.
We will be here next week, dropping more news, and we're going to talk even deeper. We're going to dive even deeper into the 30th anniversary, what we can expect from the franchise, and what we know won't be happening in the franchise. That is something else that we're going to talk about.
No crossover with Batman.
Hopefully, we'll have one of the Power Rangers, somebody in Power Rangers that was involved with the franchise, here with us next week as well, whether it be a pre-tape or live. But we are definitely going to be back next week. So thank you guys again so much for joining us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Heirloom, where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me everywhere, bar Twitter as Heirloom, but on Twitter as @Mainstream Live.
There you go. Daniel, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Battlestar Galactica on Instagram, and on Twitter it's BSG Ablactica.
Jezzer.
Everywhere at Jezzer Zeus.
And you can find me at Joe Illuminerdi on all social media. And for members of the Illuminerdi Official, you will be getting one of these.
Ooh, that's a pretty sick shirt. Hey, guys, be sure to check out the Retro Ranger wrap-up immediately after this. The way I set it up, it should guide you straight there. So they're going to be talking about some Time Force.
Maybe even having some giveaways. I don't know. I'm just saying that. But we will join you. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. We are the Illuminerdi. We are always watching. And please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Later, guys.
Bye.